Hey, 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 it's Jazz. It's Friday, my favourite day. It's the West Ham Irons channel. It's the day after the West Ham Titanic sank. Hope everyone is well. Hope there's a good few survivors that survived last night. So, listen, it's another day. I've had my bacon sarnie, got my orange juice. Friday's my favourite day. Got a nice weekend to look forward to. But listen, anyone that went out there to Greece, hope you get well back in safety. And I mean, I haven't heard anything. I think there wasn't that much trouble, but I could be wrong. But hopefully everyone gets back safely. Obviously on the pitch, there wasn't much to entertain the West Ham fans. When I say much, I'm completely zero, wasn't it? Apart from that goal at the end, which we'll go into in a minute, really. But this show is about David Moyes and my reasons again to back up why I want him to leave, right? Simple as that. But before I go into it, I just want to sort of say out there then what's started already, nothing to do with me personally, I'm fine, but what I'm seeing on Twitter, Facebook is already, war of words between the Moyes in and Moyes out brigade, which is fine. I've always said and respect, especially on my channel and even out there on all these platforms, you can have any opinion you want. I'm fine with it. Just be respectful with each other, But I'm seeing all these nasty comments, fans versus fans, and snidey comments, taking the piss comments. There's no need for that, We're not kids in the playground, right? If someone's Moyes in, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to go and harass them online and chase them and get nasty about it. It's just no point, right? You just listen to it. It does astound me, and you move on. We've got enough things going on when we're battling Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, Tottenham fans, that we do in-house fighting. But it's going to happen, isn't it? And it's sad that a lot of people are forced to leave online platforms due to bullying and other things. So just a message out there to everyone. I mean, I'm going to get pelters after this video. I always do. People call me clickbaiting, attention seeking, sub chasing. I get all of that. I don't give a shit. It's my channel and I'm going to say what I want and I'm going to back it up. But even in this chat, you can say whatever you want, but just say it with respect. And it's interesting to hear all kinds of opinions, really. So I'm not doing this show for a laugh. I've got a 9-to-5 job. I've got 2 screens to my right. I'm taking time out of my lunchtime. I'm passionate about West Ham. I'm passionate about my views about this channel, the people in the chat. And I think this is what people want to hear. It's kind of, for me, it's Moyes out, and I'll explain why. And you back up your reasons, and you take it from there, and then you interact with you lovely guys in the chat, see what your opinion is, and we're all respectful about it. But unfortunately, especially last night, today, at the weekend, there's some people who are fine with it. Won a trophy, no chance of getting relegated last couple of years. They're fine with it, right? My issue is, and always has been, I told you, it's a lot to do with the quality of the football. It's entertainment. I nearly fell asleep last night. I just nearly fell asleep watching it. It's just, I don't have a season ticket. I go once a month, and the reason I go is I largely look forward to the West Ham Way event, which I promote here, right? So I'm going to the Nottingham Forest game. There's going to be Marlon Harewood, Anton Ferdinand there at the Colour Factory, Hackney Wick. That's my highlight of the day. Last time it was Ian Bishop. Really looking forward to it. Had a great chat with him. Great things signed with him. Lovely lifelong memory photos with him. Thanked him for all he did for our club. And that largely is due to A, effort, B, service, C, the football that Ian Bishop used to play. He was a CDM, everyone. But he had so much skill. He could put his foot in. He captained our great club. He could pass it short, pass it short, pass it long. Could have scored a bit more goals in their career, but like John Moncur, they left it all out there. Played more often than not 7 out of 10 games for us, right? Anton Ferdinand, Marlon Harewood, semi-final winner against Middlesbrough. Remember that hat-trick at home to Villa when we came up with Alan Pardew's brilliant team. Again, I know Marlon had issues towards the end and when he left the club, but he largely left lovely memories. And we played great football, didn't we? We played great football with Ian Bishop under Harry Redknapp. We played wonderful football with the Marlon Harewood, Anton Ferdinand, Ben Youn, fantastic team with Alan Pardew. That is life for me. Memories. When David Moyes leaves, will I remember the 4 years? I'll definitely win. Obviously, Europa Conference, wonderful won a trophy, but from the league or anything else, even from the games that led up to the final, I'm not going to remember much. I remember the Sevilla atmosphere the year before. So these are the things that mean more to me: atmosphere in the ground, camaraderie with the fans, entertainment on the pitch, which rubs off on the fans. That's for me, as a West Ham fan. We've never won anything, so I'm not in it for that. I love to win more things, but for me, it's the tradition, the history of the club, the great attacking managers we've had down the line. That's our DNA, and that's what I'm complaining about. But you got the other fans who are looking at what we've won, how fairly safe we are, how fairly safe we play in the matches. It's interesting, and I respect that. It's not for me. I've got a different opinion, but before we get into it, I'm going to go into the chat, and then I'm going to explain my kind of main reasons for what I think is going wrong on the pitch, and then go into highlighting the kind of issues with David Moyes I've got, really. So let's crack on with it. Ukrud, I hope I pronounced that, mate. Moyes out. No problem, mate. Blue Boy, hope you're doing good, mate. It's really good that Tim has arrived. At the same time, I don't quite know what Mark Noble's role is at the club, everyone. But it's really good that Tim seems to be highly regarded. He's very hands-on. He doesn't mess about chasing targets. That's good to see. And when and if it's only a matter of when the new manager comes in, Tim is going to be largely behind that in terms of selection, recommendation, and because of that, he's gonna hire a manager that he knows. He knows he can work with, and then transfers, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be done very quick, very slick, no pissing about, and everyone's on the same wavelength, and then the club can move forward. At the moment, we can tell that, okay, we bought half a dozen of players in during the window, but still, the business was done very late, and half the players hasn't worked out for at the moment, half has. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to go into transfers in a minute under David Moyes. I think you can easily see 50-60% transfers don't work out under Moyes. So that's quite a hard stat, really. But that's kind of what I'm looking at. John, mate, happy Friday to you, my son. Happy Friday to you, mate. Benson's in the room. I never get stressed about anything, Benson, but this just drives me up the wall. It's been going on for so long, isn't it, mate? And it is about the quality of the football, mate, for me. Why can't he just kind of work with a couple of interests? I'll go into formations in a minute, Benson. I will. Let me go through the chat, mate, because, yeah, that's what it's all about, mate. Yeah, he should have gone a while ago. All the Rice money should have been given to the new manager, because then you can entice him. The last thing you want to do is, again, waste the January window on players that, I don't know if Moyes wants or he doesn't want. The players suffer. You've seen so many players. It's not their fault. They're not wanted by Moyes, or they're wanted by the owners. And they're left out, they're not treated in the right way. You can see that. Many examples we'll go through. It's not fair on the player. It's not fair on the fans watching that kind of palaver. It's an absolute joke, mate. That's it, John, mate. It is, isn't it? It is, because it was never about winning, was it? We used to struggle all the time, but the fans never attacked each other about struggling. As long as the players gave a good effort, a good show, we tried to score goals, we tried to pass it, we showed a few tricks, a bit of skill, we all went home happy, didn't we, John? That was what all about. And now I understand it's all media, interview, pressure. It's all of that. But for our club, it's different. I'm telling you, it's different. I'm not looking, mate. I might put my turban on today, mate. I haven't got a helmet, but yeah, we'll see what happens, mate. Hope you're doing good, mate. It is. Listen, it's nothing personal, but I will be. I'm like a kid. Like I love assigning players, especially strikers. That's one of the things getting to me. But life is all about strikers for me, scoring goals, your heroes, your children's heroes. We don't see none of that, and I feel so bad having to go Antonio all the time and Moisey and Antonio. The quicker he doesn't play up front anymore for us, the quicker we get a new manager in, the quicker we try to play fast, slick, one-touch, attacking, ambitious football, mate. That I'll run to the ground, mate, from where I live to watch every single game, mate. What you think? Pam, hope you're doing good, mate. Haven't looked at this Derby too much, but we'll go into it, Pam. There's a couple of people I'm looking at. I think the Sporting Lisbon manager, still at Sporting Lisbon, Pam. They're top of the league. Ruben Amorim, he's in there. Then you've got the guy that Spurs looked at, wasn't it, Pam? Let me get his name up. Julian Nagelsmann at Bayern Munich, wasn't it? So he's think he's helping out the Germany national team in and out. Then there was another guy called Domenico Tedesco, Belgium. I think he's gone to manage the national team there, Pam, but we'll go into it. Charlie, straight to the point. It's not nice, isn't it? You're kind of ridiculing the other fan. You're kind of looking down on them. You're getting nasty. You're getting personal. And then there's waste of time. No point interacting with them. No point, mate. Absolutely, Wazim. Hope you're doing good, mate. Hope you're doing well, mate. Got one eye looking at the cricket score here, mate, Wazim. Yeah, very interesting. Steve's in Devon. Steve's having a good time. He's kind of having. It seems to be Steve's kind of having like a stag night, isn't he? Like he's having these 12-hour pub crawls in Devon. But Steve, hope to catch up with you next week, mate. Hopefully we'll do a live recording with him, and we might do it at the Berlin next week, sometime like that. So something for you guys to look forward to and show you one or two things going on around there. I've heard that the great bit of work from the West Ham Supporters Club, that they bought the old crest and they've installed it out of personal cost and other people donating, which is outside where the current Supporters Club used to be. I think it's Castle Street, which is a gym now, everyone. So hopefully I haven't seen it. I just love going Green Street, you know, it just brings back memories, walk around, have a little cry in a corner, all that kind of thing, mate. There we go. So let's get into it, everyone. The first thing we're going to start off with is let's have a look at all the players that have come in, all the transfer dealings that happened while kind of Moyes has been here, really. So if you have a look at the screen, I'm quickly going to go through them, and then they'll get you an idea of how many players hasn't quite worked out, which is alarming. Let's start off with this summer. And these prices are in euros. 43 million euros kudos. We can say we're in November nearly, and when you look at Maddison, you look at one other two players at other clubs, even Rice, it hasn't worked out so far for Kudus. So you can see already. Alvarez, 38 million euros. Yeah, he's all right. He's all right. A little bit above, a little bit all right. He's all right. Prowsey, 34 million. I think we can use him differently. I'm going to go into the formation tactic screen after this, but I think Prowse, we can get more out of him, I think. So 34 million, he's been good. So Kudus hasn't worked out. Alvarez, okay. Prowsey, good. I told you guys about Mavropanos. I'm not that impressed. I know he hasn't had many games. It's not easy, but I had my reservations about, is he really going to improve us? Is he really going to be really, really good? He didn't cost an arm and a leg, 20 million euros. I'm not that impressed at the moment. Let's just leave it at okay, whatever. Andy Irvine, nothing there. So you can already see it hasn't worked out. One player, okay, good, not. So again, it's a mixed bag, everyone. Flynn Downs went on loan. We sold Rice. Skamaka didn't work out for him. Alarming, isn't it, everyone? Didn't work out for Vlasic. Alarming, isn't it, everyone? Masuaku was a flop, but that was in Pellegrini's time. Lanzini, very wrong of the club to give him such a long contract. Good memories, but very far and few between. You go into the following window, everyone. Paqueta. Again, I'll show you. I think we can use him. I think we can use him in a different manner. Again, Paqueta, I'll go into. I think at the moment, Paqueta and Ward-Prowse, we can get a little bit more out of these guys. I don't think the current setup is correct. Paqueta has been good. Agard, again, hasn't worked out. 35 million euros. If anything, he should have played yesterday. His form is down. He would have been good just to bring his form up. Skamaka didn't work out. Cornet, God, that's another one. He came yesterday, didn't he, for a few minutes. Didn't see much. Again, he could have helped us on the wing. Up front, if you want to play two, hasn't worked out. Emerson, okay and good, isn't it? Really, really more than okay and good this season. So he's all right. Danny Ings is another flop. So every four players, it looks like one is good, three isn't. That's not a good stat. Danny Ings, complete waste. I would never have bought him if I wasn't going to play him with one up front with him. Absolute waste. Nothing against him. Good goal scoring record, as you know, throughout his career. He got 19 games without a goal at West Ham. His worst run without a goal at any club. Welcome to West Ham, Danny Ings. Chicharito, you remember what we did to him, what we did to Haller, what we did to Skamaka. It just goes on and on and on. And it is not It is not a fluke. It is not that we can't work out why. It's a consistent situation happening there. Kehrer, waste of time for me again. I want players who are good enough to compete for the first spot, and he isn't. Flynn Downs, I don't know what to say about Flynn Downs. Saw little bits of him, wasn't convinced. Again, going back to the chairman, this is all money that adds up. Don't just look at the transfer fees. Have a look at the extra the agents you got to pay, and all that money goes down the drain. Areola, I'm not going to say anything again yet. Let's keep watching him. Let's see how it happens. Connor Coventry, what is he doing? Haven't even seen him. Departures. He's a dupe. Complete waste. Didn't work out. Craig Dawson, he wanted to go for personal reasons. Yamalenko, he came for a lot of money, everyone. Wasted so much money and complete flop. Fredericks, one of the worst players I saw at West Ham in recent times. Noble, what a great player, right? So you can see there's so many players that hasn't worked out. For Zuma, good player. Vlasic, it didn't. Alex Crow, waste of time. Dawson, good signing, good lad. And then we'll go one more season back. This was okay window, wasn't it? Suchek, I know I have a go at him, but 60 million euros, we've got our money back, right? Benrahma hasn't worked out, 23 million euros. Kafal, 6 million euros, it has. So you can already see it's kind of a mixed bunch there. Before I go into the tactics zone, I'm just going to go back into the chat and see what you guys are saying. Lee, yeah, I'm in the same place I was kind of last season, wasn't I? This time last season, October, exactly 1 year around that Chelsea result when I completely lost it online, didn't I, mate? I'm in the same thing, mate. I'm not enjoying my football. I don't look forward to games, mate, which is so bad to say. Even yesterday, I sat there, I got totally bored of my pants, mate. It was just nothing. I can't even remember. I mean, that goal Paqueta scored, great finish. It's kind of in the playground. It came out of nowhere. It went in the air. They cleared it. He thought he'll have a little whack at it. It went in, and that's it, mate. There's nothing. I can't remember anything first half. I can't remember anything. Second half, it's a complete shit show, mate. Paul, hope you're doing good, mate. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to go onto the tactics screen, which I'd love to show you guys. So let me just get that on board for you. Let's have a look. So at the moment, what's happening at the moment, this is how I think it could work. But before I go into that, let me see if I can make it. Let me go out the screen, actually, then you can kind of see me properly. Let me just put that out of the way. Hang on, mate. 1 minute. Okay. Can you hear me now, mate? Let me just start again. Sorry, I think I was on mute then. So basically, what I was saying is this isn't how we're normally set up under Moyes. I think we could be, but before I go into it, basically what's happening now at the moment is if you look at the way we're defending, there's 7, 8, 9 people, well, 7 or 8 people defending all in and around the penalty area, right? So when you look at the Villa goals, you look at the goals yesterday and some of the goals before that, the opposition, no one is tackling them from the halfway line to the edge of the penalty area. They're allowed to run and bring it that close. And when they bring it in, they're taking the shots, 20-yard shots, which no one's blocking. You saw the Villa goal, the first Villa goal, because there's so many people defending for West Ham, like 7, 8 people in the box, zonal marking. No one knows who's picking anyone up. It's lazy because there's so many numbers there. You expect your colleague to pick them up. I think Agard was blocking the goalkeeper's view for one of the goals, as an example, got ricocheted. So you've seen 20-yard goals from Villa and yesterday. So if the opposition have got the ball around, in and around in their own half or halfway line, they are allowed to run into the penalty area and have a shot, and it's quite dangerous. What should be happening is our CDMs should stay in and around the halfway line and try to tackle from there, try to stop any attacks going anywhere near the area. If it goes past the midfield, it's up to the back four to go and defend, and it's up to Zuma to marshal that back four, tell them who's marking who. Let's go back to man marking, so you know your man, that traditional way of marking, right? Emerson knows which winger is marking, stick to him, because then you're clearly responsible for that player. Sometimes you might lose that player, then hopefully one of the other players will come behind and help. But generally speaking, you should know who you're picking up. I don't think anyone knows that. So often you see Agard and Zuma just floating around marking different people. Often they lose them, lose the players. There's no consistency there really. So we are defending very, very deep with a lot of people behind the ball, but they're too close and in around the penalty area that it's not stopping the shots from going towards goal. Chances after chances at the beginning of the season, chances weren't going in for the opposition. Now the luck's running out, and you can see that, yeah, we've got to change the way we're marking. You got to have it all spread out. You got to tell the back four to play in line, be responsible for the attackers and wingers. The CDM's got to clearly sit in the middle of the penalty area, middle of the semicircle, and make sure that you try to win that midfield battle. And then Bowen and Kudos will try to track back and help as well. And up front, we're disjointed as well. You've got no one up front. Antonio's on the wing. So you can see there's so many problems defending, problems tactics, problems marking. And everyone, a couple of them not playing in the right positions. It's not the right system. We don't have a striker up front either. You've got individual players who are struggling out of form. You've got Souček. So when Souček plays, everyone, we're kind of playing nearly 3-4 CDMs, aren't we? Because Paqueta's a kind of a CDM, Alvarez is a CDM, Ward-Prowse is a kind of a CDM, then Souček's a CDM. That's 4, 8, that's 9, nearly 8 defensive players, everyone. And then there's not much creativity in there sometimes, apart from the set pieces, not much threat up front, no one running down the channels and making those runs. So you can see already that it's a problem. Always a problem, and that's a situation I can see. It's not good to watch. It's very defensive on the first minute, and you're just waiting for the opposition to score. It's just with a bit of luck at the beginning that the opposition weren't scoring. For one reason or another, it was deflected. It was going a few inches past the post, few inches over the bar, but now the luck's beginning to run out, and you saw Liverpool could have got a couple of more against us. We've got tough fixtures coming up against good attacking teams. We don't know what's going to happen, but before I go into what I think should happen and the formation that we should play, I just want to go back into the chat, mate. I think I was on mute for a while, but hopefully... yeah, Pam Anderson came again with a very good reputation. He's gone back to Lazio, Pam. He's kind of doing well there. He's enjoying his football. His confidence went in the end. But I think on the physical side, not sure if he quite had it or whether, yeah, the manager wasn't able to bring the confidence back for him, really. So that kind of thing happened. A lot of the players, Justin, we went through. Benrahma's a shadow of himself, mate. And it's just what I'm saying is if the new manager comes in fairly quick now, Justin, it's that you never know. Before we begin to offload these players in one or two of the windows coming up, you never know. A new manager might revitalise one of these people like Fornells, like Benrahma. You never know, you know. Otherwise, just going to go, aren't they? That's it, Paul, mate. I think I was, mate. I think I was. But hopefully you told me help me out, mate. I wanted to go out the screen so you could see this in a bigger bit, but it looks like I totally came out of it. Ian, hope you're doing good. Exactly. You don't want to get nasty and nasty. You want to thank him for his time. Exactly, Paul. He doesn't mess about, does he? He's already lined up loads of signings, loads of managers. I think Sullivan at last realised that he couldn't all do it by himself and rely on agents all the time. This guy's got connections all over the globe. He's good at discussing. He's good at bringing players in. Alvarez mentioned how Stetton spoke to him, sold the idea of him coming in, influenced to come. It looks like David Moyes doesn't do any of the, when you influence a player to come, you have a chat with the manager, you hear the plans. I don't think David's very good at that, which isn't good. I think David only sees them on the training ground when they've signed and, all right, mate, how you doing? You right? I mean, you got to get more involved in that, like back in the old days. Of course, definitely right, John. Darren from Thailand, hope you're doing good. Let's go back to there, and I want to show you what I think could work at the moment and what we need in the future, everyone. So it's a 4-2-3-1 system. Souček, for me, he would not play in my first 11 anymore. He offers nothing. Even yesterday, he didn't have the ambition or the skill to actually run with the ball, try to make things happen. As soon as he received the ball, he put the other players in trouble by just passing it 3 centimetres to the left, 3 centimetres to the right. When the West Ham players were kind of in the corner, it was tight, he put a lot of players in trouble. He tries to get rid of it as quick as he can. He doesn't want responsibility. He just runs and runs for the sake of it. He doesn't intercept anything. He doesn't tackle. He doesn't offer nothing. And he's got no room in my team. So no Souček. Areola at the back. Let's keep an eye on him. I'm not 100% yet, but let's keep an eye on him, right? Emerson, I think we should go for young fullbacks. When you look at sort of Digne, you look at Matty Cash, people like that, even Castagne, everyone. Castagne, I think he's a reasonable price. He went to Fulham, younger than these guys slightly and got a bit more to offer. So Kufal and Emerson in the next 2-3 windows, I would look to replace slowly with the younger players who can play wing back, have got that engine, then we can change that formation. Zuma and Agard, I mean, I'm not impressed with Agard, so that's a big issue already. The centre-back pairing isn't working for me. They're all over the place in terms of closing down attackers, marking people. What is happening due to the way we're defending everyone is, imagine there's a winger, opposition winger, and goes down the wing. He can go as close as here. No one's going to stop him, right? Because we've got so many people behind the ball. When he crosses it in, a proper striker, just gets in between Agard and Zuma all the time for a shot. And it's happening all the time. So Agard's a concern. One of the reasons why we're struggling. And that in Kale Zuma, I don't think he's a captain. There's not really any discipline, any organisation in the back from him. I think Paqueta needs to go back to how he plays for Brazil as a CDM and see how it goes. So I would put Paqueta, Alvarez next to each other. And what I would tell Paqueta is, I know you got a lot of skill on the ball, but I want you to keep it simple in terms of try to win it back, try to take on one player if you can, but I want you to just release it to the front four as quickly as you can. I don't want you doing tricks in the corner because he's losing it a lot of times. He did it at Villa, cost a goal. He got into trouble a couple of times yesterday. So I would want him to be more disciplined. I will not let him the license to roam everywhere because I don't think he's a true number 10. And I'll go into in a minute. I think he's just a CDM with a bit more skill than a normal CDM. But I want him to just do what he does for Brazil. It's just sit there with Alvarez. That's what I would do. Antonio has to go or can't play up front. We need a striker. Right, so there's 3 problems already. You got Agard as an out of form centre back. You got Zuma not organising the back four. We're patchy and slippy at the back with gaps. You got Paqueta who hasn't got any discipline in his game. He's just going all over the pitch and sometimes he wins it, sometimes he loses it. I want him just sitting there. Alvarez, I don't really have much issue with. He's fairly disciplined. He knows his role. He stays there, right? Ward-Prowse. So Antonio we need to replace, and I think we need a number 10 here, a Maddison type. So Maddison plays in the same system like this, but he plays here where I've put Ward-Prowse really. And then they've got Son. If we could swap Ward-Prowse and Antonio for Son and Maddison, that's a big issue, for example, solved. I don't know what we're going to do with Ward-Prowse longer term. He could help Listen, we might have to put Paqueta on the bench sometimes and put Ward-Prowse next to Alvarez, but at the moment I see as Ward-Prowse as a kind of the number 10 in the middle for now, playing behind the striker, Kudus and Bowen on the wings. I think Bowen is the one you don't have to move. He's fine. That's kind of his best position. This is what I'm looking at, really. More discipline from Paqueta, using Ward-Prowse a bit further up the field. In terms of passing, he's got good range of passing. He can set things up. He's closer to all the set pieces. And then you use the youth, the pace, the stamina, the skill of Kudus and Bowen and have a main striker up front. But you can already see why we've got so many problems. Antonio's one problem. Paqueta, 2 problems. Ward-Prowse not quite in the right position, 3 problems. Agard out of form, 4 problems. So there's 4 or 5 problems there already. And when you look at some of the players that could play, Maddison would be good where Ward-Prowse is as the main number 10. There's not many of them around, but that's kind of what we need. It's the kind of player that David Moyes doesn't like. He doesn't like strikers. He doesn't like skillful number 10s. Some of you might say Ben Rama was meant to do that role. I don't know. Maybe a new manager can get it out of him. You got people like Matty Cash, Digne, kind of fullbacks that we need up front instead of Antony. Everyone, you could look at Tony, you could look at Wissa, Brentford, Mbuma, Brentford, Solanke at Bournemouth, got 5-6 goals already. Everyone, Castani at the back. Obviously, Son and Maddison, just examples. You're never going to quite get them in, really. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. And as you buy younger fullbacks, then you can explore and play 3 at the back with wing backs, really. So let me know in the chat what you think. It's my view, and yeah, it might be controversial where perhaps I'm getting a bit... Tell me what you think about Paqueta. Is he annoying you a little bit? Are you a bit worried about the discipline in his game, that he wanders all over the pitch, loses it a lot in dangerous places? I don't know what his role is, really. So I would tell him to sit next to Alvarez and push Ward-Prowse up front. Then Ward-Prowse has got slightly less running to do in terms of defending, which he probably might like. He's going to be 29 soon. Yeah, let me know. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That's it, mate. Oggy, I'm not even thinking about Oggy. Yeah, I'm not even thinking about Oggy. I mean, I'll tell you about the bench as well. How kind of... So, see, another thing yesterday that taught you was how poor the second 11 is, or how poor the squad is. I mean, when you look at, we've got people like Creswell, Fabianski, Ben Johnson, Cornet, Souček, Benrahma, Mavropanos, Oggy, Kera, Connor Coventry, Fornells, Ings, Mbuma. That's 20 names I've just given you. Who out of those is jumping at you to make a start and really do well? We are in the shit, everyone. I mean, we keep saying we're signing a lot of players, some doing well. So you can already see by the transfer record, 35 to 40% at most are succeeding at West Ham under David Moyes. It's closer to 35% or 30 than 40. That's the failure rate. It's huge. And you can see in all the windows he's had, a couple of the windows he hasn't bought anyone. He hasn't changed the formation. And tactically, he's inept. He's playing people in the wrong positions. He's playing out of form players, which is a mixture of signing the wrong people or not coaching them in the right way. Or when they're out of form, you don't know how to take them out, how to encourage them. It's a dreadful cycle, and time after again. Okay, and Tony pulls out the bag twice every 10 games. Bowen more than likely does the odd good performance and we just get by. But you can already see that there is a lot of issues with our team. And at best this season, I think, you're sitting mid-table or just below, I think. But then what really means more to me is just playing better football, playing people in the right positions, getting the most out of everyone, not wasting so much money. I don't know what the failure rate is other clubs, everyone. I don't know. Maybe 30-40% of all signings fail. I don't know. But for West Ham, we don't usually have as much money as some of the big boys. We need to spend our money carefully. We need to scout players properly. We need to sign more Kufal type of cheap players out there and take a punt. We need to sign more players from the Championship. Give academy players, like I said, more of a chance. But let me know. Let me know. Ruby, hope you're doing good. Yeah, I mean, let me go through that list again, Justin. I don't know, mate. I mean, Creswell, good? Not really. Fabianski, not really. Ben Johnson, not really. Cornet, there's a player in there. I don't know what's going on. So Cornet would be all right. Souček, all right as a squad player. Benrahma, So there's a lot of players that we don't know how good they are anymore. We don't know if a new coach can lift them, but we can chance it, can't we, mate? But I think more than 60-70% of them is not quite getting anything out of them, are we? Not quite getting that out of them. But let me know in the chat if you can think of a different formation, different way of playing. That's what it is, mate. But then Snazzy Azzy, why do we sign Kudos? Why do we sign Skamaka? Why do we sign Cornet? Why do we sign Ben Rama? Well, why they're not using? Why they suddenly just vanished? They're not improving. I don't get it. Either sell them then and recycle the cash, or they're just being wasted, mate. They're just being wasted. So I think the 3-4-2-1 system is good, but once we buy more younger players, then I think we can play 3 formations that everyone else is doing. So you've got the 4-2-3-1 or you've got the 4-3-3, but you need a really good striker for that. That's mobile, and then Bone and Kudos can play in that front 3, and then you can have maybe Paqueta and a couple of the others in that 3 behind, and then with a better centre backs you can play 3 centre backs, wing backs already, and then you can switch it around that way. So wing back system, when you're tough away like yesterday, you get extra, 3 centre backs at the back might have helped, but he's not changing anything, everyone. He's not changing anything, and I think it's time for a change. I think we've got as much juice out of him as we need. We've won a trophy. Hang on a minute. Cosmos is here, mate. Cosmos. Benny just running himself into trouble, mate. Running Cosmos. It's just, he goes missing in the big games, mate. In Europa, to be fair, he's been more than all right. He looks really unhappy. I don't know. He's between. Has he got the class for the top 7, top 8 team? I don't know. Is it a bit of form? I don't know. Does he like working with Moyes? I don't think so. Yeah, Ruby. Antonio has to go, Cosmos, isn't it? We cannot try that man up front. He can try as a wing. He can come on as an impact sub. Antonio would be very, very useful, isn't it? But what about those people whose contracts are running out, everyone? So I think I had the list there somewhere. The contracts, there's about 7-8 players whose kind of contracts are running out. So while I check, you guys in the chat, I'm just going to show you in a minute. I'm just going to quickly have a look at this. Get in there. I think there's 7-8 players whose contracts are close to running out in the summer, which is the previous 2 summers. So we've kind of left it quite late. So the players whose contracts are coming out, everyone, Craswell, Fabianski, Oggy, Antonio. Some of them might have a 1-year extension, which this website doesn't show, so please bear in mind with me. But what I'm saying is that the hardline contract dates are June 2024. Kafal is part of that. Souček is there. Fornals is part of that list. Connor Coventry, Ben Johnson, Joseph Anang, the goalkeeper, Mubama. Then you got Danny Ings, Zuma the year after that, everyone. So many players with contracts about to run out, so it's not going to be easy trying to do all of that, really. So listen, we've been going for 40 minutes, but you can already see in summary, for me, it's about the quality of the football. It's about not playing more than one formation, not being clever in game management, not making the substitutions early, not being clever in terms of what's happening during the game or analysing the opposition before. We are told that he's got a very good deep attention to detail. I'm not sure about it anymore. Inability to motivate players when they're down, inability to play players in the right place and know when to play and when not to. Instead of, you saw that Souček played a whole year and a half out of form every single game. Antonio out of form every single game. It doesn't make sense for the player. It doesn't make sense for the manager. If I was in the same team as 3-4 out of form players, I wouldn't be happy, right? You can see that. Attacker striker is very, very important. It shapes half your side how you're going to play, and we are playing without a striker, playing like 10 men. 2-3 of them are out of form, 2-3 of them out of position. There's your problem there. So many problems. It can be sorted out. We need a new striker. In the short gap, push Ward-Prowse up to be the 10 behind Antonio with Kudos and Bowen either side of him. Tell Paqueta to get back, sit next to Alvarez, be more disciplined. Don't roam around doing circus things and losing it. Stay there, right? Our guy needs to sort himself out. Zuma needs to be more of a captain, marshal the back four. Those are the main things for me. But I want a new manager in who plays good football. Give him a bit of money while we still got it. Paqueta, I don't know how long he's going to stay. You might be one of the other ones who might get a reasonable amount of money for. But we need to quickly check if people like Ben Rama got a future, if people like Cornet have got a future. We just need to be much more active. You know, people have a go at Arsenal for having 2 goalkeepers, but at least the manager was proactive. They had a good season. They finished second, I think, in the Champions League. They could have easily just rested on their laurels, but they went aggressively into the market again, right? And I know we did, but and they've got Havertz. He's failed big time, 65 million. Richarlison, 53 million failure. It does happen. But I think when you went through how long our manager's been with us, he should be stabilised. We should have 80% of the team know what they're doing, playing in the right position. So when it comes to transfer windows, we've tied up most of the players we need to. And then you just need fine-tuning. When a manager's been in charge for 8 windows, you should only need fine-tuning every window, right? Which is not happening. After all the transfers we've done, we're still in a shit place, mate. We're still in a shit fucking place, you know? It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, absolutely right, matey. Let me go back into it. Yeah, the Cosmos 433. We can try Ings. Yep, exactly. Justin, hope you're doing good, mate. You got to back your players, Justin. I'm not going to go into who bought these players in. If these players came in under David Moyes, they're David Moyes' players. I don't give a shit. If he hasn't got the ability or enough sort of influence in terms of who comes in, he shouldn't be in the job. You remember Alan Kirbishley resigned at West Ham because they sold 1 or 2 players behind his back. I think McCartney was one of them, went to Sunderland. After that, he said the contract's been broken. That you're selling players behind my back. I'm going, and he won £1 million out of court, didn't he? Right? So if he's a yes man, no man, I'm not going to go into any rumours or anything. But what I do know, or kind of guessing, is that I don't think the relationship with David Moyes and Tim Steadden is good, because Tim is like us. He wants to sign players. He wants to sign attacking players. He wants to sign young players, good players. David's just like stuck with the old rot, and he just keeps doing the same fucking thing over and over again. And by fluke or luck, we won that tournament last year, and he's probably got bigger head, bigger ego, doesn't listen to anyone. And listen, lucky we got some people through the door. Well, half of them not even making any impact anyway, and we were looking as though we weren't going to sign anyone, mate. Like 78% of the window was wasted. Absolute joke. Yeah, because we and the worry is, Cosmos, that we've given Antonio an extension, more money. We're about to do with Souček, we're about to do with Kafal or not. I'm not sure about Kafal. It's not good, mate. It's not good. Yep, that's it, mate. 8 changes, John. 8 changes yesterday. You can't do that. You can't do that, mate. 8 changes is too many. Too many, mate. Too many. I used to call it a good camaraderie going on, but you never know how strict they are, how interesting the coaching sessions are. The way I look at it, it doesn't look like a very good or very interesting coaching staff we've got. There's no names that kind of... Because I wanted people like Martin Allen involved. I wanted people like Kevin Keane involved a bit more. I think he is. I think people like Joe Cole, they wanted the job at West Ham. I want people like that. I want Noble more involved. I want more ex-players as scouts, Justin. I think people like Mark Ward and other people in and around the club that work every weekend, they'll be the best scouts. Ex-players are brilliant scouts. They wouldn't cost a bomb. A lot of the players who played in the mid-80s, they still work for the club for peanuts at weekends in all of the, the boxes and things like that, mate. We've got to look at that, everything else. But apart from that, the worry is that what's going to happen to the ground? Are we going to own it? Are we not? We don't bring in enough revenue. I mean, it is worrying what's happened to Everton. We could be round the corner. Lucky the Rice money came in, Justin. I don't think we would have had any money, because that financial fair play, as far as I know, mate, it all to do with your turnover. If people like Karen Brady are not doing their job in terms of marketing, bringing corporate revenue in, getting the sponsors in, the ground sponsors, the shirt sponsors, which I think we're struggling to do. You look at the names of the boxes that we sell, they're not very big companies, mate. None of the banks in Canary Wharf will go to West Ham. They're not interested. JP Morgan, Citibank, HSBC, you got huge billion banks literally around the corner that should be having boxes, sponsoring the ground, doing much more. It's a shit show, mate. Three sides of the ground, mate. 3 sides of the ground, there is no corporate boxes. I've did the tour. It's crap. There's no history area. There's no trophy area. There's nothing behind the goals in terms of rooms or boxes. It's a dead show. It's only that main stand where the tunnel the players come out with is you've got those boxes. And is it one level or two? It's not very good to look at, mate. Just walk around. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know how long the ground's going to kind of stay without any improvements needed. I don't know how long it was made like that. A lot of these grounds, like Old Trafford, we know, leaking water and all those type of things. A lot of things to think about. Training ground, mate. The owners, someone's going to have to foot the bill. You cannot carry on that training ground. You are light years behind everyone, Brighton, Leicester, everyone, people like that, right? Newcastle are going to build a huge ground, huge infrastructure with the Reuben brothers, who are architecturally planners and builders with the Saudi money, right? Tottenham, you already seen. I think Tottenham are the next club to be bought by the next billionaire because their owners want to sell, and I think that's going to get sold before us. So that's enough. Arsenal on the pitch, they're doing it. Their ground was one of the first new ones built, probably fallen back a bit. Liverpool already rebuilt all four sides of their ground. Everton are moving to new ground, but I get that they've got other issues. Villa, they're probably going to need to update their stadium at some point, but at the moment it's fine. They've got a good manager, got a good kind of solid foundation of a good team. Diaby ripping it, signed him like kudos. Manager knew what he wanted to get out of him. He started him every game from the beginning, scores a goal every 2 games, does an assist every 2 games. Bailey's coming back to his best, ripping it up. Newcastle got a few issues, but most of their signings have worked out. 70% of the signings are playing. It's working out. They have a plan, right? You can see how we're falling behind all these teams. Ben, how you doing? You all right? We haven't even got a striker, Ben. How can you compete for the top 7 without a striker? Have a look at the way Arsenal play football. Have a look at the way Tottenham are playing football. Have a look at Liverpool City, even Brighton, right? Newcastle's a bit different, but they kind of know what they want to do, what they want to get out of it. It's a plan. It's slick. It's fast. It's entertaining. Have a look at the atmosphere at Tottenham before every game, how it's lifted everyone. And they've had Conte. They've had Mourinho. It was quiet because of the quality of the football. I love Mourinho as a person. I respect him, but he's not right for West Ham because you will get bored with his football. You know, you will not be excited by his football. It'll be organised at the beginning, but your old DNA is gonna, in your heart, will waken up again. Because West Ham, it's not our fault. We're born with that. We want different type of football. Silva at Fulham does play that football, but yeah, in terms of quality and whether he could really get there regularly as a top 6 manager, I don't know. But there's managers out there, the Sporting Lisbon manager, who are tactically take risks, they're excited, like Tottenham manager, take risks. I know everyone's saying that the wheel's going to come off Spurs next year. I don't know, but I like a brave manager. I like that he's installed that in the whole team. They respect him. He's strong enough to say, if you're not going to go with me, you know where the door is, and I like that. I like that. How you doing, matey? Gingy needs to sort his audio out, man. Every time Gingy comes on, either we don't see him or we can't hear him. Frankie's taking a bit of a break, I think. Frankie baby, he will let me know when he wants to come on. Rich is back. Yeah, matey. Yeah, I'm a bit jealous of them, mate. I am, but I hope you're doing good, my man. That's it, Ian, mate. Same tactics, mate. Yeah. She gets that. She got a huge bonus for what they call an introducer's fee when Kretensky came. So apparently she sourced him, she found him, she brought him to the club, and she got about $1.5 million bonus, mate. But in terms of getting a corporate sponsor for the ground, she's been unable to do it. And we're always going to share the revenue. So we're never going to. I mean, the Spurs model is fantastic, where we were talking about how expensive their ground was, but guess what they done? They borrowed money when interest rates were at the historical lowest for a century. So they've locked in that rate for maybe 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, 20, whatever. And they're just paying the interest. They're not repaying the capital. And then in 10 years' time, when you've got to repackage it again, they'll do the same again. But in the meantime, while they're paying minimal interest and minimal repayments, their match day revenue income is through the roof. That's what financial fair play is. The more your revenue is, the more you can spend. And I think the Declan Rice money saved our ass. you know. Same time when kind of when we went down and we had to sell kind of Joe Cole and all those type of guys. Is if we didn't, we were in trouble again. So again, and we can't borrow from the banks, everyone, because we don't have any assets. So that's why Krotensky came in, because we were looking for people to come in and chip in money, because the owners have got the money, but they don't want to dip into their pockets. They're very careful with their money. They're very old school, and the money they put in, like 20 million, the Arabs will be laughing, mate. So they're given loans, 20 million here and there, 30 here and there, 40 here and there, stuck an interest rate on them, and a lot of the Krotensky money was used to repay some of the loans of the owners. So it's a very carefully run club. It's not enough to bring us to the next level, right? As you can tell, we are wasting. If 35% of transfers are working out, you can tell how much money is being wasted. And are we going to be able to sell Declan Rice types every 2-3 years to bump it up? Are we bringing players from the academy like Chelsea, City to flog them? We got non-existent academy. Even players at 16, 17 are going on a free. They're legging it to Man City. They're legging it to Liverpool. Newcastle are building a academy in London, I'm told. They're going to nick half the players themselves if they don't go to Chelsea. It's getting tougher and tougher, and we really need a new coach in ASAP to sort this out. Justin, good for you, lad, mate. Good for you. Definitely, mate. Right, well, that was mine. Really enjoyed the chat. That was mine. I'm hoping I don't want to say influenced you guys, but that's my reasons for Moyes out, and there were so many there, wasn't it? Having said that, thank you, David, for stabilising us, providing a foundation. Most of all, winning a trophy. But overall, mate, while you've been here, week in, week out, it's been dire, it's been boring, it's been repetitive. A lot of transfers are not working out for one reason or another. A lot of out-of-form players stay out of form. A lot of players play out of position. And we're talking about many years now. Yeah, Benrahma's been here quite a while. We're not talking about 6 months or 1 year. And some signings come through, and they're sold without hardly playing anything. And we see them play 3 games. Even Kudos wasn't that yesterday. And I knew this would come. This is going to come with Kudos if Moyes doesn't change his ways. His form's going to dwindle, mate. And then he's going to be unrecognisable. And then we're going to start thinking it's the player. It's not the manager. When you clearly know it's the player. The whole world knows about these players, that they're good. They're internationals, right? And you telling me they're not good enough to get a regular spot at West Ham? What's going on at the moment? It's not good, mate. Happy Friday to you. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. Enjoy your Friday. And I will do 1 or 2 more shows for you guys. And yeah, we got Everton at the weekend. Very, very winnable game. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. Obviously, going to do the full-time instant match review after the Everton game. In between, because I'm doing a bit of painting around the house, I'm always up to something. So I'll try to find some time and see what's going on in the media, what kind of stories are coming at the club. And then I'll try to do 1 or 2 of these special interesting shows, really. So listen, you guys take care. Have a lovely, lovely Friday. I'm going to have some cheeky rums tonight. Love the weekend, as you know, and we'll get back to it soon. Come on, you irons. Moyes out.